Imagine a world where teamwork isn't just a virtue, it's a way of life. A place where every individual, no matter how small, plays an irreplaceable role in building and sustaining a thriving community. Picture a society where collaboration is so seamless that no task, no matter how monumental, is ever out of reach. It's not some distant utopia, it's closer than you think. In fact, it's right beneath your feet. Welcome to the astonishing world of ants, nature's tiny architects and master collaborators. These creatures may be small, but their capabilities are nothing short of extraordinary. From constructing elaborate underground cities to farming their own food and waging intricate battles for survival, ants embody a level of sophistication and unity that rivals even the most advanced human societies. So let's begin. Prepare to be amazed as we delve into the hidden lives of ants, a testament to the power of unity, resilience, and the limitless potential of working together. Our story begins with a single ant. Let's call her Mira. Mira is a worker ant, an unassuming hero in the intricate world beneath our feet. Today, Mira has a mission, one she undertakes with unwavering determination, to gather food for her colony. For Mira, this task isn't just a duty, it's her life's purpose, woven into the very fabric of her being. As dawn breaks and the first rays of sunlight filter through the leaves above, Mira emerges from the labyrinthine tunnels of her colony. The air is thick with the scent of earth, and the world towers above her like an endless jungle of grass and roots. Mira's journey will take her across treacherous terrain, past predators many times her size, and into uncharted territory. And yet she proceeds without hesitation, driven by a sense of duty that defies her tiny size. Mira's journey is extraordinary when seen through a human lens. She will travel distances that, relative to her size, are equivalent to a human walking 10 miles. Along the way, she will rely on her finely tuned senses, her antennae sweeping the air for the faintest whiff of food, her legs navigating the uneven terrain with precision. Every step Mira takes is a contribution to something far greater than herself. But Mira's journey is just one thread in a vast tapestry. Beneath the soil, thousands of her sisters are hard at work, each playing a vital role in the colony's survival. Some tend to the queen, whose sole purpose is to ensure the next generation. Others guard the entrances to the nest, their jaws ready to defend against invaders. Still others tend to the colony's young or cultivate fungus gardens, a remarkable form of farming practiced by some species of ants. Together, they form a living machine, a superorganism where every individual is essential, yet no single one is more important than the whole. As Mira ventures farther from the colony, she stumbles upon a crumb left by a careless picnic-goer. To a human, it's nothing more than a speck, but to Mira and her colony, it's a treasure trove of energy and sustenance. She examines it quickly, her antennae brushing against its surface. This discovery is too big for her to carry alone, but Mira isn't discouraged. She does something remarkable instead. She lays down a chemical trail, a path of pheromones that will guide her sisters to the prize. Soon, the single thread of Mira's journey is joined by others. Her sisters follow her trail, forming a procession of determination and efficiency. Each ant takes a piece of the crumb, breaking it down into manageable portions. Within minutes, the seemingly impossible task of transporting the food is accomplished, not through brute force but through unity. Mira's journey is complete, but her day is far from over. She'll repeat this process again and again, tirelessly contributing to her colony's survival. Her actions, though small, have ripple effects that sustain not just her fellow ants, but the entire ecosystem. Ants like Mira aerate the soil, distribute seeds, and even help control pest populations, making them unsung heroes of the natural world. Ant colonies are not just collections of individuals, they are living, breathing systems. Superorganisms where the sum is far greater than the parts. Each member has a distinct role to play. The workers tirelessly gather food, care for the young, and maintain the nest. The soldiers stand guard, ever vigilant against threats. And at the heart of it all is the queen, the lifeblood of the colony, whose sole purpose is to produce the next generation. Together they form an intricate, harmonious society, one that has been honed and perfected over millions of years of evolution. But what makes this unity possible? How does a colony with thousands or even millions of ants operate so seamlessly? The secret lies in something invisible to the naked eye, yet powerful enough to orchestrate this entire symphony of life: pheromones. Pheromones are the language of ants, an invisible code written in chemicals. While we humans rely on words, gestures, and even technology to communicate, ants have mastered a form of messaging that is both simple and extraordinary. With a single drop of pheromone, an ant can send a signal that travels through the air, over the ground, or along a trail, delivering precise instructions to her sisters. Ants use different types of pheromones for different messages. Some warn of danger, triggering an immediate defensive response from the soldiers. Others indicate a need for more workers at a specific task, such as excavating a tunnel or tending to the young. Even the queen communicates through pheromones, releasing a unique scent that keeps the colony's social order intact. What's truly fascinating is the precision of this communication. When an ant encounters a threat, she doesn't just send out a generic distress call. Instead, she releases a specific alarm pheromone that not only alerts her sisters, but also pinpoints the location of the danger. Within moments, the soldiers are mobilized, converging on the intruder with military-like efficiency. This chemical language is what allows ant colonies to function as a single, cohesive entity. It's a system of communication so efficient and sophisticated that it rivals the most advanced technologies we've created. And yet it operates silently, invisibly beneath our feet in a world we often overlook. When Mira, our diligent worker ant, stumbles upon a crumb of food, her first instinct isn't to hoard it for herself. Instead, she pauses and does something extraordinary. She releases a pheromone trail. To us, it's an invisible chemical signature. But to her sisters, it's a glowing path of information, a message as clear as a neon sign saying, "This way to food." The beauty of pheromones lies in their precision and versatility. They aren't just about finding food, they're about survival, strategy, and collaboration. Let's follow Mira's trail as her sisters pick up the signal. One by one, they emerge from the nest, their antennae twitching as they detect the chemical message. Each ant that follows reinforces the trail with her own pheromones, amplifying the signal. Soon, what began as a single path becomes a bustling highway of activity. Ants moving in perfect harmony to harvest the precious resource and transport it back to the colony. But pheromones are more than just a tool for finding food. Imagine another scenario. An intruder approaches the colony, perhaps a hungry spider or a rival ant scout. The first ant to detect the threat doesn't panic. Instead, she releases an alarm pheromone. To us, it's an invisible puff of chemicals, but to her colony, it's a rallying cry. In moments, the soldiers mobilize, their jaws ready and their instincts sharp. They converge on the intruder with military precision, defending their home with unwavering determination. Pheromonal communication is astonishing in its simplicity and effectiveness. There's no need for complex hierarchies or spoken commands. Each ant acts autonomously, guided by the chemical cues around her. Yet when viewed as a whole, their actions form a perfectly orchestrated system, one that has been refined over millions of years. To truly appreciate the power of this system, consider this. Ants can solve problems that baffle even modern engineers. For example, when a food source is moved, the ants don't panic. They adapt. The old trail fades as the pheromones dissipate and a new one forms, leading to the updated location. This decentralized problem-solving approach allows them to respond to challenges with remarkable efficiency, even in chaotic environments. Pheromones also enable ants to build structures that seem almost magical. Leafcutter ants, for instance, use pheromones to coordinate the construction of massive fungus farms underground, while weaver ants use them to organize the weaving of leaves into intricate nests high in the trees. Every action, every movement, is guided by the silent language of chemicals. Did you know that ants possess superpowers? These tiny creatures can lift objects 50 times their body weight. A feat so astonishing, it's like a human hoisting a full-sized car above their head. But this incredible strength isn't just a random quirk of nature. It's a finely tuned marvel of biology and physics working in harmony. To understand this phenomenon, let's shrink ourselves down to Mira's size and see the world through her eyes. Mira, our hard-working ant, encounters a seed many times larger than her own body. To us, it looks like an insurmountable task. How could something so small manage to lift, let alone carry, something so heavy? But Mira doesn't hesitate. She braces herself, locks her powerful mandibles onto the seed, and begins to lift. What's her secret? It all starts with physics. You see, as creatures get smaller, their muscles don't just scale down in proportion. They retain a remarkable amount of power relative to their size. Mira's body, though tiny, is built for efficiency. Her exoskeleton acts as a tough, lightweight shell, providing both strength and protection. Beneath it lies a network of muscles that are extraordinarily dense for her size. Then there's the strength-to-weight ratio. Because ants are so small, their bodies are less affected by gravity than larger creatures like us. This means that Mira can use her strength far more effectively without being weighed down by her own mass. In essence, her small size is her superpower, giving her an advantage that humans, bound by our larger frames, can only dream of. But there's more to Mira's strength than raw power. Ants are master engineers, using leverage to their advantage. Mira doesn't just lift with brute force. She adjusts her body, shifting the seed to distribute its weight evenly. Her legs, like tiny hydraulic systems, anchor her to the ground as she stabilizes the load. With each precise movement, she demonstrates a level of biomechanical efficiency that rivals the most advanced robotics. What's truly extraordinary is that Mira's strength is not just her own. It's amplified by the collective power of her colony. If a single seed proves too large to carry, Mira doesn't give up. She sends out a chemical call for help, and within moments her sisters arrive. Together they coordinate their efforts, each ant grabbing hold of the seed and lifting in unison. What was once impossible for one becomes achievable for many, a living testament to the power of teamwork. This unparalleled strength is not just a party trick, it's essential to the survival of the colony. Ants like Mira transport heavy loads of food, building materials, and even their young across vast distances. They construct sprawling underground cities, clear debris, and defend their nests against intruders, all relying on their ability to carry far more than their own weight. Imagine a world where humans could replicate even a fraction of this strength. What innovations could we create? What challenges could we overcome? As scientists study ants' biomechanics, they're uncovering secrets that could revolutionize fields like robotics, engineering, and even medicine. And it's not just brute strength that makes ants extraordinary. These tiny creatures are also architects and engineers, capable of feats that leave even the most advanced human technologies in awe. When faced with challenges that seem insurmountable, like crossing a wide gap or navigating treacherous terrain, ants don't retreat. Instead, they innovate. They come together and form living bridges using their own bodies. Picture this. Mira, our indefatigable worker ant, is on a mission with her colony. The trail leads them to a sudden obstacle, a chasm too wide to cross. For most creatures, this would be a dead end, an impassable barrier that halts progress. But for Mira and her sisters, it's merely a problem waiting to be solved. Without hesitation, the ants spring into action. Guided by an innate understanding of cooperation, the workers at the front of the line begin anchoring themselves to the edge of the gap. One by one, their sisters climb onto them, interlocking their bodies to form a chain. Each ant holds on tightly with its legs and mandibles, bracing itself as the structure grows. What emerges is nothing short of miraculous. A living bridge, built from the bodies of hundreds of ants, stretching across the divide. Mira and her team carefully adjust their positions, ensuring that the bridge is stable and secure. Each ant understands its role instinctively, contributing to the collective effort without hesitation. This isn't chaos, it's choreography. The bridge flexes and shifts as ants on either side distribute the weight of their sisters crossing it. And once the entire colony has traversed the gap, the ants at the back disassemble the bridge, reclaiming each individual for the next task ahead. The entire operation is executed with precision and purpose, a masterpiece of natural engineering. But the ingenuity of ants doesn't stop at bridges. Across the world, ant colonies build some of the most complex structures found in nature. Leafcutter ants, for example, create sprawling underground farms where they cultivate fungus for food. These subterranean cities feature chambers, tunnels, and ventilation systems that regulate temperature and humidity with remarkable efficiency. In the rainforests, weaver ants stitch leaves together to create nests high in the canopy, using silk produced by their larvae as thread. Then there are the desert ants, whose towering mounds rise above the sands like tiny skyscrapers. These structures aren't just homes, they're marvels of environmental design. The mounds are built to capture the sun's warmth during the day and release it at night, providing a stable microclimate for the colony inside. What unites all these achievements is the ants' unparalleled ability to work as a team. Each individual contributes a small part, but together they achieve the extraordinary. It's cooperation at its finest, a living testament to what can be accomplished when individuals set aside their own needs for the greater good. Imagine if humans could replicate this level of unity and coordination. What challenges could we overcome? What heights could we reach? Ants remind us that true innovation doesn't always come from individual brilliance, but from collective effort. But ants aren't just mindless workers, marching to the rhythm of instinct alone. Beneath their hard exoskeletons and tiny frames lies evidence of something profound, a capacity for care and compassion. In many species, ants demonstrate behaviors that challenge our understanding of altruism. When one of their own is injured, they don't abandon her to the harshness of the wild. Instead, they rally to her aid, carrying her back to the safety of the nest to recover. Imagine this. Mira is part of a foraging expedition when a scuffle breaks out with a rival ant colony. In the chaos, one of her sisters, a worker named Laya, is injured. Laya struggles to move, her legs trembling under the weight of her own body. In most of the animal kingdom, an injured member would be left behind, deemed too weak to contribute. But not here. Mira and the other workers don't hesitate. They approach Laya, their antennae brushing against her in what can only be described as a moment of communication and recognition. One ant begins to lift her, using mandibles not to harm but to help. Others follow suit, and together they carry Laya back to the nest. Once inside, Laya isn't discarded or ignored. In species like the African matabele ants, injured members are tended to by their sisters. They gently clean her wounds using their saliva, which contains antimicrobial properties, to stave off infection. Laya's role in the colony is not forgotten. If she can heal, she will be reintegrated, ready to contribute again. This act of care isn't just pragmatic, it's revolutionary. It shows that ants value individuals not only for their immediate utility, but also for their potential to recover and continue serving the colony. It's a level of empathy that is rare in the natural world and challenges what we think we know about altruism. How do we define altruism? Traditionally, it's seen as selfless concern for others, often at a cost to oneself. Ants complicate this definition. Their actions may seem instinctive, driven by evolutionary advantages that prioritize the survival of the colony. But when you watch an injured ant being carefully carried and tended to, it's hard not to see something more, a glimpse of compassion in a world we often view as cold and indifferent. This behavior isn't limited to a single species. Across the ant kingdom, there are countless examples of care and cooperation. Some ants nurse the colony's young with meticulous attention, ensuring that each larva receives the right amount of food and care. Others will defend their nestmates with their lives, sacrificing themselves in battles against predators or rival colonies. What drives this behavior? At its core is the colony's unity. To ants, the colony is not just a collection of individuals, but a single, living entity. Every ant is a cell in this superorganism, and every cell matters. When one is injured, it's as though the body itself responds, working to heal and protect its own. These acts of care hold profound lessons for us as humans. They remind us that strength is not just about physical power. It's about empathy, compassion, and the willingness to help those in need. They challenge us to reconsider our ideas about survival of the fittest, showing us that sometimes survival is about collaboration and care. Take a moment to imagine a world without ants. The lush Amazon might wither, its soil compacted and lifeless. Arid regions would become barren wastelands, stripped of the plants that anchor their fragile ecosystems. Forest floors would be littered with unprocessed organic debris, choking the cycle of life that ants so meticulously maintain. Ants remind us that even the smallest creatures can have the most profound impact. They teach us that sustainability isn't just about survival. It's about shaping the world for future generations. These tiny architects, farmers, and guardians show us that true power lies not in size, but in the ability to work together, to adapt, and to nurture the world around us.